Many English learners feel pressure to speak perfectly, with zero grammar or pronunciation errors. But here's the truth: perfect English doesn't exist, not even among native speakers. The real goal is to make sure people understand you. If your ideas are clear and your message is easy to follow, then you're succeeding. Don't let the fear of mistakes stop you from speaking. Clear communication is more powerful than perfect grammar.
Exactly. When I teach students, I always say that being understood is more important than sounding like a textbook. Perfection often leads to hesitation or silence, and that's the real problem. Fluency grows through practice, not perfection. If someone understands your point, even with a few small mistakes, you've communicated well. Focus on sharing ideas clearly, using words you know confidently, and your English will naturally improve over time. Most people think of communication as speaking, but listening is just as important. Active listening means really paying attention, not just waiting for your turn. When you truly listen, you understand the other person better, and that helps you respond more naturally. You also pick up useful vocabulary and sentence patterns. So next time you're in a conversation, listen with your full attention, not just your ears.
That's such a good point. Active listening also shows respect. It tells the speaker you care about what they're saying. Nodding, making eye contact, and asking small follow-up questions like "really?" or "why?" makes the conversation smoother. You'll also feel less pressure to come up with something to say because the conversation flows more naturally. Listening well helps you speak better. It's a key part of great communication. It's common to think that using big words makes you sound smarter. But in real life, the best communicators use simple, clear language. When your vocabulary is too complex, people might not understand you, and that creates distance. For example, instead of saying utilize, just say use. Instead of commence, say start. The simpler your words, the more effective your communication becomes.
Yes. Simplicity creates connection. In fact, native speakers use basic words most of the time. They save fancy vocabulary for writing or special situations. If you focus on common, everyday words, you'll be more relatable and easier to follow. Think about who you're talking to and use words they will understand. Good communication isn't about impressing others, it's about reaching them. Yes. Simplicity creates connection. In fact, native speakers use basic words most of the time. They save fancy vocabulary for writing or special situations. If you focus on common, everyday words, you'll be more relatable and easier to follow. Think about who you're talking to and use words they will understand. Good communication isn't about impressing others, it's about reaching them.
Yes, and people won't think you're slow if you speak slowly, they'll think you're thoughtful. Clear speech shows that you're careful and that you care about being understood. Practice by reading out loud at a slower pace or using language apps that give feedback. Also, don't forget to pause between ideas. Pausing gives your listener time to process and gives you time to breathe and stay relaxed. Clarity always wins over speed. Body language plays a big role in communication, especially when your vocabulary is limited. Simple gestures, facial expressions, and eye contact can support your words and make your message clearer. For example, pointing to an object, nodding when you agree, or raising your eyebrows to show surprise adds extra meaning. These physical signals often speak louder than words and help you connect emotionally with others.
That's so true. People often underestimate how helpful body language can be, especially when learning a new language. Imagine trying to explain something without words, you'd use your hands, your face, your posture. So even if you forget a word, your body can help fill in the blanks. Also, body language shows confidence and keeps the conversation engaging. It helps you feel more natural and helps others feel more comfortable with you. Asking questions is a powerful communication tool. It shows you're engaged, curious, and open to dialogue. Questions keep the conversation going and give you a natural way to participate. Start with simple ones like "What do you think?" or "Can you explain that?" Asking helps you learn, and it also encourages the other person to open up, which makes conversations feel easier and more balanced.
And when it's your turn to answer, don't just say yes or no, expand your answers a little. Add a reason or give an example. For instance, if someone asks, "Do you like movies?" Instead of just saying yes, try yes, "I love action movies, especially ones with adventure." That gives the other person something to respond to and helps keep the conversation alive. Asking and answering well builds confidence and real communication skills. Speaking English is like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. But many learners wait for the perfect moment or for someone to talk with. You don't need a partner to practice. You can talk to yourself about your day, describe things around you, or read out loud. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day helps build your fluency. The key is to make speaking a daily habit, like brushing your teeth.
Exactly. And if you want to improve faster, record yourself speaking and listen back. You'll notice things you can fix, maybe your pronunciation, grammar, or speed. It might feel strange at first, but it really helps. Daily speaking practice trains your brain to think in English and makes your mouth comfortable with the sounds. You don't need long sessions. Just speak regularly, and soon, you'll notice real improvement. Learning individual words is useful, but learning phrases is much more powerful for real communication. Phrases are how people naturally speak. For example, instead of just learning the word hungry, learn "I'm starving" or "let's grab something to eat." These are the expressions people actually use in daily life. When you speak in phrases, your English sounds smoother, more fluent, and more native-like.
Exactly. Also, phrases help you understand conversations better. If you only know words one by one, you might miss the meaning. But if you've learned full expressions like "what do you mean?" or "that makes sense," you'll follow along easily. Try learning common expressions for daily life, work, and travel. Write them down and practice using them. Phrases give you a stronger toolbox for speaking and understanding naturally.
A lot of learners hold back because they're afraid of making mistakes. But mistakes are a natural and important part of learning any language. If you wait until you can speak perfectly, you might never speak at all. Every time you make a mistake, you learn something new. Most people will still understand you, and many will help correct you in a kind way. So don't be afraid, just keep trying and learning. Yes, and honestly, some of my best students are the ones who make the most mistakes, because they're also the ones who speak the most. They're not afraid to try. That's how you grow. English isn't about being perfect, it's about being brave enough to express yourself. Every time you use the language, even if it's wrong, you move one step closer to fluency. So speak up, learn from your errors, and move forward with confidence.
One of the biggest changes you can make is to stop translating in your head and start thinking in English. Translation slows you down and makes it harder to speak naturally. Start small, describe what you're doing in English while cooking or walking. Then move on to forming thoughts, feelings, and even plans in English. It won't be easy at first, but with time, your brain will get used to it. That's right. Thinking in English also helps you avoid mistakes that come from direct translation. Every language has its own structure and way of expressing things. When you think in English, you build better sentence habits and sound more natural. It also trains your brain to switch languages faster. Try journaling in English, labeling items in your room, or just asking yourself simple questions in English each day. Thanks for staying with us. Today, we covered 10 essential tips to become a better communicator in English. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being clear, confident, and consistent.
Exactly. Focus on using English every day, learning real-life phrases, and not being afraid to speak. The more you use the language, the stronger your communication skills will become.
That's it for today's episode of English Unlocked. Don't forget to subscribe and share if you found these tips helpful.
We'll see you next time with more ways to unlock your English. Keep practicing and keep communicating.